You're listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. Now here's Chris and Kristen.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kristen.
And I hope you don't think I'm a sellout for playing Justin Timberlake.
Bringing sexy back.
And also, I surprised Kristen today with a little gift.
Oh, yes, I got a new microphone.
A new real deal microphone.
He's not kicking me out of the band yet. This is real stuff right now.
It's you know.
He loves me. He really loves me.
It shows faith in the team that. Now, the microphone, it's a really good microphone.
It's gorgeous.
But
it's like my little baby.
It fell off a truck, if you know what I mean.
If you want to say that.
You know, and once again, you can't use this against us.
Yeah. Once again, you cannot use this against us. In a jury or whatever.
I do not give permission for you to use this recording against me. I plead the fifth.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. And, all right. And I've been wanting to do this for the past couple episodes. In the beginning, you heard. Okay. I get my voiceover people from this website, Fiverr.com, and I know I've blown them up in the past. It's Fiverr with 2 R's, Fiverr.com. And the website lets you people do services for you for $5.
Sounds hot. They just do services. Anything.
The kind of services I'm looking. And
one of them was Donald Jr.
Okay, yeah, so Jesus Christ, my phone is blowing up and I'm all staggered out here. Okay, visit Fiverr.com. The people that have done recordings for this podcast, the first one, the older gentleman with the English accent, I think I quoted him by saying his name was Mr. Sleeves. It's just Sleeves.
Yeah, Sleeves.
So you can go to Fiverr.com for that, you know, he kind of has that Gandalf kind of a thing going for him. So just Sleeves.
Two strangers.
Hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I love that. And, okay, the second...
It's very Harry Potter-ish, I feel. Welcome.
Oh, I'm going to hire him again sometime, and I'm going to, like, just have him do, like...
Where did they always go? It was Hogwarts. Welcome to Hogwarts.
Welcome to Hogwarts. You know, J.K. Rowling said that, you know, Dumbledore is gay.
Oh, yeah. They always got to have a big gay guy for the
Drop your trousers, Harry. No,
that is not what the story is for.
Yeah, right. It's bad enough I'm making him gay, now I'm making him a pedophile. You know, come here, Hagrid.
Well, what they always call Harry, though, I remember just seeing, like, the first one, the boy who lived.
The boy who lived.
They always like, Harry Potter. They put that all over that first one.
Harry.
The boy who lived.
Okay, and
the other person.
The second voice is Donald Jr., Donald Jr. Now, he has his own website called DonaldTheVoice.com. All one word, DonaldTheVoice.com. And then our last one, and I just...
Ooh, Chris loves
she's
her.
She's got that sexy, sexy voice.
Chris got a little bit of a Sandman while listening to the opening.
And I'm going to, I have more of her recordings, and I have her saying, take it away, Big Daddy.
Yeah, he's got a secret file with her name on it.
And actually, of all the female voices, I was looking for someone to do a sexy voice. And there's some girls who say, I'll do a sexy voice. But pretty much a lot of the women said they don't do anything erotica.
So lame,
So, actually, she's the only one that says, I'll do erotica.
Do whatever the hell you want.
So, her handle on Fiverr is NSB Jewel. And it's NSBJEWEL, like the stone.
Yep.
So, I highly recommend all three of these people. They're all incredibly professional. I got them to do the voiceovers for just $5.
And they did it quick.
Yeah, and it actually makes it sound like a legit
show.
It's just two fucking people messing around. It makes it sound professional, so.
Yeah, for $5, why not?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to those.
Great services, guys. Especially you, Jewel.
Oh, yeah. You'll be hearing from me again, trust me.
With your headphones on. Just talking away to Joel.
Hey. Hi, Big Daddy.
What's that, Big Daddy?
Hello. I'm going to do my sexy
Would you say, is it even illegal?
Is this even legal in this state? Mm-hmm.
You want me to what?
I want you to... You want me to put it where?
Say what, Jewel? Settle down.
So,
carried away.
Yeah, I'm going to lower the microphone. I'm going to lower my headphones so I don't sound like I'm in an echo chamber over here.
Hello.
So before we started recording, and I'm like, why are we saving this for the podcast? We were talking about the new Spider-Man movie.
Yes. We thought it came out in a month, June.
Yeah.
Comes out actually July 4th that weekend.
Comes out July 4th, which is, you're just
it's red, white, and blue.
The whole fucking world is going to come out and see your movie. And, Spider-Man being from the Marvel Universe,
And he's got a real redhead in this one, not Kirsten Dunst, who's originally blonde.
Yeah, but she's not...
she's not Mary Jane.
Yeah,
right?
Mary Jane is somebody else. Gwen Stacy, who, for the people who, read the comics, like, Gwen Stacy was another girl that Peter Parker fooled around with.
He is such a player.
No, he's not.
I thought it was always MJ, and that's
but she kind of gave him the cold shoulder, so he's like, fuck that. And then, then she woke up. As soon as he was paying attention to someone else, with the way women always are.
That never happens.
They don't pay attention until you were the next person. That was Mr. Wonderful.
That's only you're banging on the door saying you're pregnant.
And
you guys didn't have sex in 6 months. But it's your baby. That never happened.
Well, because you've seen the first one.
Yes.
Well, not the first. I mean,
the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. That first big one.
Yeah.
With Tobey.
Now, what happens is in the movie, the Green Goblin is holding Mary Jane and a whole trolley cart full of kids.
Yeah, I feel like they're on a bridge.
Yeah, they're right off the bridge. It's the Roosevelt something bridge in Manhattan. I should know the name of it.
There's so many damn bridges.
But George Washington, the Street Bridge, I think, and they have that little.
There's the trolley.
The trolley thing. I forgot what the hell it's called. So he's kind of like in the movies, like make a choice: do you save the girl or do you save the kids? Now, what happens is in the real comic, that was Gwen Stacy.
Oh, it wasn't even MJ.
So they borrowed something from the comics, but they changed it up for the movie.
Yeah.
And what happens is in the comics, he drops Gwen Stacy
because she's fat. He couldn't hold on.
Well, he drops Gwen Stacy, and actually,
and it was like the same scene where they're on the bridge. The exact same thing.
Instead of Mary Jane,
a different person.
But what happens is when he catches Gwen Stacy, like he saves the kids, like he shoots a web and keeps the trolley from hitting the water. And since Gwen Stacy's dropping, when he catches her, she's moving at such a velocity that her neck breaks.
Poor
so
thing.
Gwen Stacy dies in the comics.
Really? Yeah. Because of her neck?
In that storyline, because...
but she lived in there.
Yeah, and
they had to make 3 minutes, a couple more.
So, I mean, they kind of, the scene is kind of taken out of the comic books, but it's totally 2 different characters.
And they kill her off.
And they kill her off, yeah. And then, he's like, he's...
So devastated.
He goes to avenge...
Runs back to MJ.
Yeah,
once she's gone,
once the new girlfriend dies, you go back to the old girlfriend.
A couple on it.
And so they finally have Emma Stone, and
it's a real redhead.
Who's a natural redhead, but they're not. She's not playing the redhead. She's playing Gwen Stacy.
Was Gwen Stacy a redhead, or
no? Gwen
does Spider-Man have a thing for redhead? Oh, they should have switched that
exactly.
up. But Emma Stone wasn't really well known then when the first ones came out.
And then what happens is they had Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3.
But not her. But not Emma Stone?
No, not Emma Stone. But
just the character?
Yeah, no, because this is another reboot.
Okay.
And now, of course, maybe because I'm a bit of a comic book nerd.
No, not you.
The movie actually looks good.
It does. I saw previews in theaters, and it was doing like the viewpoint of you being Spider-Man.
Yes,
and it looked really cool. Yeah, that looked really cool.
And it's a reboot because Sony has the rights for Spider-Man.
Okay, and
it's in their contract that they kind of have to make a Spider-Man movie
before
the contract lapses, or they lose the contract. Because right now, like the Avengers is a whole other studio.
Okay.
Because in the comic book, Spider-Man's part of the Avengers. Well, there's different people come and go.
I was going to say, is it just a rotation?
It's a rotating
credit. So Spider-Man's actually one of the Avengers, but not in this.
But they can't put him in this movie. They couldn't put him in the movie because
he's busy right now.
Because Spider-Man is owned by Sony, and the Avengers, I think, is Paramount. I should know that. But
not Sony.
Yeah.
Basically.
So that's why you don't see now.
So I wonder in the new
and
if they ever put another Avengers if they ever bring Spider-Man into it.
Well, no, because Sony made a new movie to renew the contract.
Oh, so now it's just all over again.
Yeah, now see,
contract.
That's a horrible policy because they made a movie just to make a movie.
Right.
Now, thank goodness. I mean, well, thank goodness.
So far, it looks good.
You know what I'm saying? But
you're just making it just so you can hold on to this.
And it's the same. Now, the funny thing is they did that with Fantastic Four. There's a version of Fantastic Four before the one that came out a couple years ago that the studio made just so they could keep it. And it's like a direct.
That's greedy.
You can find it on the internet, and it's so horrible. It has like horrible special effects. And
anybody good in it?
No.
All that's how it was.
People. But they made it
just to keep.
They shot it just so they could keep the contract.
That's greedy.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Is that why make a movie? That's
it's gonna suck.
Yeah, you're spoiling. By forcing people to make a movie, you're
it's not going to be good quality.
There's a possibility that the movie could suck, and they're going to make it just to make it. Luckily, it looks good enough.
Yeah, it did actually look really good. Now, what is Gwen Stacy's occupation? Because what's the other one? A journalist or a reporter? What was Mary Jane?
I don't know.
What was she? I feel like
Mary Jane was anything. I mean, she wasn't.
I felt like she had something to do.
They do have the newspaper.
Yeah, I feel like there's something with the newspaper she was involved in.
I mean, because
she was anything.
Yeah, because Peter Parker was the photographer,
right?
And his edge was that he always sold the pictures of Spider-Man.
Of Spider-Man, yeah,
because
he's making money off himself.
Yeah, his story is that they try to make Spider-Man kind of realistic, where he's just a kid, he doesn't have money, so he makes money by selling.
He's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he sells the pictures to the newspaper, so. That's how he makes money. Right. And then, of course, the guy who runs the newspaper, J. Jonah Jameson, hates Spider-Man. And so the funny thing is, while Peter Parker's right there in front of Spider-Man, Spider-Man's a menace, he's a terrorist.
Talking shit about him.
Yeah, he's like, I'll pay $10,000 for someone to, bring me his mask and,
Bring me his mask.
Yeah, like he wants...
Bring me his mask.
He wants Spider-Man. He wants to take, he considers Spider-Man almost like a terrorist.
Yeah.
But he'll pay for the pictures, though.
Yeah, of course.
Newspapers.
Oh, of course.
And so, that's the dynamic with that. To be honest with you, I mean, I should, once again, I'm one of those comic book nerds that,
do you know what Gwen Stacy is? Or is she just some floozy?
Well, in part 3, she was working for the newspaper.
They're always at the newspaper.
Yeah,
newspaper.
Convenient. Because, I mean, I don't want to confuse it with Lois Lane, because Lois Lane also, like in
was,
Superman, the whole other universe, the DC universe, Lois Lane works with Daily Planet with
They love the newspaper, the Daily Planet.
Yeah, because it gets you into everything.
Yeah.
If you're a newspaper journalist, you could be where all the crazy, fucked up shit is happening. And,
I feel like it was always something with the newspaper.
Because
when in doubt.
Because in Spider-Man 3, what an abortion that was.
What an abortion. There you go.
In Spider-Man 3, they made Mary Jane an actress. Like Peter Parker.
I saw parts of it. Like, it must have been on TV or something, and I totally saw parts of that, and where she was an actress and he goes to see her or whatever.
Yeah, and it's a big
whole saga where they're not talking or something. I don't recall.
Yeah,
like I think there's another guy.
And she starts messing out with Harry Osborn, who in the movie they never call him the Hobgoblin, but
that's a great name.
He's the Hobgoblin.
The Hobgoblin.
Who is the son of the Green Goblin.
Okay,
so
makes sense.
Yeah, duh. Naturally.
Yeah, I totally remember seeing scenes of that of her being this actress.
Yeah,
he goes to see her. It's dramatic.
Now I swear to God, one day when I have the time, I'm going to make an edit of that movie with no Mary Jane in it. Because every scene with her in that movie sucks. Like, someone did that with Star Wars, where they did an edit of Star Wars, the first one, The Phantom Menace, without Jar Jar Binks.
And it was great.
They edited out, unless the scene was absolutely necessary, they edited out Jar Jar Binks. And they call it the Phantom Edit.
Okay.
Like the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I'm going to make Spider-Man, I'm going to re-edit Spider-Man 3 without any Mary Jane scenes, because all the scenes with those were unnecessary. Because Spider-Man was doing well, and
he was doing his thing,
and the director.
Is this when Gwen Stacy came into play?
When Gwen Stacy was in part 3. Like, I think they wanted to appeal to women.
Okay.
So they threw let's hype up the two female characters, Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane, and every scene with her was, I wanted to...
Unnecessary?
Yeah. I wanted to put my head through... I want to put my fist through the screen.
Now, did she die in that one? Because, I feel like she never came about.
No, he saves her and stuff like
Mary
that.
Jane? So she's...
No, none of them die.
Oh, I didn't know if they, killed her up, because I feel like she's not in them anymore now that...
Yeah, well, Gwen Stacy...
that was the third one.
What happens is with Gwen Stacy is... Peter Parker becomes like emo Peter Parker in part 3, and it's such, oh my god, it infuriates me. That's just, it gets my stomach churning how bad it was. And,
emotional.
Yeah, and what happens is when he comes like emo Peter Parker, he starts fooling around with Gwen Stacy.
Okay.
Because Mary Jane starts fooling around with Harry Osborn,
with
the Hobgoblin, which is the son of the Green Goblin. So
Drama City.
And where was I? So okay, and then
he's all emo.
All emo. They give him that stupid hair, hair comb over like the emo kids wear.
It's all slicked down.
There's a whole scene where he's like tap dancing in a jazz bar while he's
must
emo.
Have loved that.
Oh my god! Because,
look at my hero tap dance.
You know why? You know now, Spider-Man 1 was good. Spider-Man 2 was fucking awesome.
Was it?
And then Spider-Man 3, you got him tap dancing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like they were just running out of shit.
One of my favorite characters
and
made him tap dance in a jazz bar with emo hair. Oh.
That's sad. And he's got 2 girls.
And he's got 2
Nobody
girls.
like that would have 2 girls.
And that's, you know, that's like, so when I make my edit of the movie, there's gonna be no tap dancing, no Peter Parker, and no.
He's gonna be a badass in that movie.
You know, and then you got the main one of the villains in part 3 is Venom.
Okay.
And Venom, how Venom comes about is Jesus Christ, this is so nerdy. But see, that's the beauty of this show. I can be a nerd, you're not, and I can let you know what's going on.
So Venom, what's the deal with Venom?
Venom is a parasite. He's an alien parasite from another world. Yeah, so parasites always bad guys. What the fuck? He finds Peter Parker, and now Venom is naturally a symbiote. He's like he lives off. He can't
other people.
Yeah, he can't like just be by himself.
Okay.
So he latches onto Peter Parker.
A typical parasite.
And when he latches onto Peter Parker in the beginning, Peter Parker, like, it's bad. Like, he's a badass enough as Spider-Man. Now he's like a new and improved Spider-Man because
he's got this Venom.
The Venom covers his body like a black suit.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, what does it mean that he's on you? Like, is it like this little thing, and then
I guess the best way to describe it's almost like an oil slick with a personality.
Okay,
yeah.
So he's all black, just walking around.
What happens is when original Spider-Man had to put on a costume,
right?
Now that the symbiote's attached to his body, the oil just goes over his whole body, and now he's like
so now he's just this black thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
not black Spider-Man.
That was black Spider-Man.
Hey, yo, it's your neighborhood Spider-Man.
Border.
But there was, in the.
I want to see a dead body.
And so, there was a time while Spider-Man had this black outfit instead of the red and blue.
Yeah, this is the second one.
Well, no, that's no. And I'm talking about the comic books. But in the movie, they do have and they kind of made it look more like a spider, like an oil slick that kind of moved funky. And don't get me wrong, the special
kind of moved funky.
Yeah, it was kind of good, but not really. I mean, once again, Spider-Man 3, the special effects were incredible.
Oh, okay. So it had that going.
Yeah, it blows my mind nowadays where they got movies. The people who do special effects nowadays in Hollywood,
it's insane.
You got to give them credit, man, because
it is insane.
These directors, they go to, these are companies. These are companies that their whole job is to do special effects, and they do fantastic special effects.
It's amazing the shit they can do.
But
it really
the fucking director, I throw all the blame at the director and the writers. You have this incredible technology at you.
Work with it.
And you give us lame character. You don't give us any good because they also had the Sandman. And the Sandman is also and it's great special effects. It's this guy. He gets stuck in an accident. He's made out of sand. And,
typical.
And first and foremost in part 3, Sandman was a character that came out in the 60s.
Okay.
So he's wearing like these brown slacks and a green striped sweater, which in the 60s, well, I'm just saying,
that was it.
In the 60s, that's how a thug looked.
He was fly.
And then in this movie, they still have him
and the same outfit
with the green striped shirt.
Yeah. And you gotta update it.
Nowadays, in movies, when they update everything, they keep this guy in the 60s.
Stuck in the 60s.
And so, they try, they try to make him sympathetic because you can see that, like, because his thing was that he's like a criminal, but they're keeping him away from his daughter. Like his wife is keeping him away from his daughter, so he commits crimes to kind of like get money so he can be with his daughter.
So he's just gonna get money from all these people, and that's gonna bring him to his daughter.
He's a small time crook, and he continues to be a small time crook to get money. be
to
with
get to the daughter.
Yeah, it's a stupid premise.
Sounds right. Sounds about right.
And the whole thing is that you don't feel sympathetic for him, and I don't blame Thomas Haden Church, who's a great fucking actor, played him. And once again, I don't blame Thomas Haden Church. I blame the writers and I blame the director because
giving him a lame.
They try to make you sympathetic for him and they fail.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Then you got these great special effects.
These great effects, and make them like
fails.
crazy.
Now, see,
work with the effects.
Like I was telling you, when we were talking about before the podcast, Spider-Man 2 is
amazing.
One of the greatest, besides the Avengers.
I'll have to check that one out.
Spider-Man 2, and I'm going to put it in that order. And my top 3 is the Avengers, Spider-Man 2, and X-Men 2. Now, back to Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2...
is that the Venom one, or was that just...
No, yeah, trust me, I'll get back to Venom and how they fucked up Venom.
Okay. Oh, was that Spider-Man 2?
No, that was Spider-Man 3.
Oh, the lame one.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 2 is Dr. Octopus, who's played by Alfred Molina.
Yeah.
Alfred Molina, great actor. People know him from Indiana Jones.
Is he British, or... maybe I feel like I've seen him in something with an accent.
I think he's...
Or Australian or something. I don't
know. No, actually... I think naturally I think he's from Spain, actually.
Oh, really?
I was going to say... Molina is like a Spanish name.
Yeah, he looks it too.
But
I feel like I've heard him with an accent.
He speaks with a British accent. Or he plays characters with a British accent. I don't know his whole...
I envision him with an accent at one point in his life.
Well, in Indiana Jones, he has an accent. In Spider-Man, he's American. And, what's that movie? About the female artist. It's based on a true story that Salma Hayak played, the artist, where she has like real thick eyebrows.
I have no idea. Thick eyebrows.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, you have your iPad in front of you. Look at Alfred Molina. Okay. It's like Vita. It's like a one word. I think it's Vita. I think it's because it's
Vita.
Yeah, or something like that. VIDA.
Just thick eyebrows.
Yeah, it's based on a true story and a real artist. And Alfred Molina's in that, and he's great in that also. Now, Spider-Man 2. What I liked about Spider-Man 2 is that it actually made you feel bad
you're saying
for the bad guy.
For what's his name? Octopus.
For Dr. Octopus.
Octopus.
Octopod.
I remember, wasn't he... I must have seen parts of that, because I remember like a subway scene.
Yeah, there's all the subway, and you got... And
I don't know why I'm always seeing parts of these movies. I probably just skimmed through it on the TV. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Fuck this nerdy shit.
Yeah. I see like the action scenes, and I'm like, all right, I've basically seen it.
You had great special effects. You got Dr. Octopus, a guy who's fighting Peter Parker on top of a fucking moving train.
Yeah.
Now, which, mind you, there are no... Well, it's supposed to be in Manhattan. There are no above ground trains in Manhattan.
It's only in, like...
In Queens and Brooklyn and the Bronx. But nowhere in Manhattan. But, great action scenes. You know, he's punching Peter Parker through the subway with his mechanical arms. Little... But then again, at the end of the movie...
Octavius.
Yeah,
Dr. Octavius. Dr. Ock, and then Octavius.
And by the time the end of the movie...
He's from London, just so you know.
Oh, he's from London?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I think
that is,
I think he's of Spanish...
Spanish father and Italian mother.
Ah.
There you go.
With a British accent. You know, a European mutt. And,
so what are you thinking of this?
Coffee.
Chocolat.
Chocolat.
Vivaldi?
No.
Oh, no, that's pre-production. Never mind. I'm naming random things.
Vita? V-I-D-A or V-I-T-A? Oh, Jesus. All right, dead air.
Dead air. I don't know.
Because it's a movie with Salma Hayak.
Right.
And actually, Salma Hayak looks like the artist. It's based on a real...
There's
it's based
Frida.
On a, Frida. There we go, Frida.
2002.
2000. And...
Diego Rivera.
Yeah, and he's the real... He's playing a real guy. Vita's a good... Frida. Excuse me,
Frida.
Frida's a good movie. I'll definitely recommend that one.
She does have thick eyebrows.
And you get to see Salma Hayak naked in that movie also. So,
spoiler alert!
So there, that's another good reason to see the movie, other than the fact that it's a well acted, really good movie. But Alfred Molina, who's by the time you get to the end of Spider-Man 2, you feel bad for Dr. Octopus. Like,
now why? What's his story?
Well, he's
going after Spider-Man. Why do I feel bad for him?
Because he's an ambitious scientist.
Okay.
So he builds these robotic arms that are attached to his spine. And what happens is because he basically built a mini sun. He as a power source. Like, this is going to be renewable fuel. I'm going to build a star on the planet Earth.
Oh, okay.
This little teeny tiny star, which will be a source of fuel.
Okay.
So he built these big robotic arms, so the arms could handle the sun. You know, like, it uses your natural instincts and stuff like that, but it won't be your human body, because human body can't stand the radiation. The arms can do it. So what happens is that the arms kind of, the arms use a bit of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And the arms kind of take over.
Oh, okay.
It's attached to his spine. So the arms take over, and it's almost like, even...
Does he, like, lose control?
It taps into his brain, and it makes... It takes the most basest evil part of him and personifies it, and you know, and so
dun dun dun.
Yeah, it's letting him be.
He's got all these 8
evil
things.
scumbag that he wants, you know, and you know, but what happens is
based on a true story.
While he's trying to contain his experiment, his wife gets killed.
So that's where you start to feel bad?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is that, like, you... spoiler alert.
The fucking movie... It came out in, like, 2000.
It was, like, 2004 that movie came out.
Yeah, 2004.
So, if you haven't seen it by now...
So I didn't.
Well,
it's okay,
and,
it's okay.
So, he... by the time... You know, then at the end of the movie, like, he's trying to build everything, and then everything just collapses, but he knows he's gonna die or whatever, and, like he's... Like, you know, you almost feel bad. Like, everything I work for, it's gone for nothing.
It's just going to hell.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it's well acted, it's well directed. And even though, yes, you have, it's as ridiculous as a guy with big giant robot arms coming out of his back, out of his spine, you feel bad for the guy. Right. And that's how a movie's that's how you make a superhero movie.
Right.
You give us
different emotion.
And if you feel bad for the bad guy,
that's good.
That's the whole thing.
Good acting.
It's easy to make you feel bad for the hero. Feel bad for the bad guy. That's good.
I remember seeing, and that was good. Like his whole character and how he walked with all the irons, and it was like cool to watch.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's why I started watching that one scene, because I was probably flipping through, and it was that huge fight scene. It was like almost like I couldn't change the channel.
Yeah.
And like I knew nothing about the storyline, but I'm watching this fight scene. I'm like, look at those arms go. He's like going through.
He's picking up, throwing bricks,
right? And it's just like
catching himself and climbing up the building.
Right. And it was like amazing effects to watch.
Yeah, you know, so the people who got paid to do the special effects did their job.
Right,
it looks fantastic.
Awesome.
But then the director and writers did their job by giving us a character that we could give a shit about.
Right.
You know, I didn't give a shit about the Sandman.
It was a win-win.
And I really don't give a shit about Venom. And the whole thing is that...
Was the Sandman in 2?
No, Sandman was part 3.
Oh, see, part 3 just blew.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing.
You had Venom and him.
You have Venom, Sandman, and Hobgoblin. You got the bad guys in the movie.
You couldn't do it. Okay,
and so...
So what was with the Venom?
Okay, so Venom... Now, what happens is...
There's 3 of them, and you couldn't.
Yeah.
You couldn't pull it off.
This is going to be like a whole Spider-Man episode. Holy shit. So Venom...
It's worth it.
Yeah, and I'll get to the new one. Because what I like about the new one is they're going to give us the Lizard. And from the first 3 movies, the other 3 movies, they kept teasing us that they were going to give us the Lizard, because the Lizard is a scientist. When Peter Parker...
always scientists.
When Peter Parker is going to college, his university...
Yeah.
There's a scientist with one arm. And the funny thing is that the scientist with one arm is in all 3 of the original, the original first 3 movies. He's in all 3 of them. But they never give us the Lizard.
Okay.
What happens is...
So it's always like you think he's going to come, and then...
Come on, you're going to give us
That's the Lizard!
Yeah. And because what happens is, lizards, like
they
if you cut off their tail and it grows back, he's trying to do that for his arm. He's trying to go back... Well, that's what he's in the scenes with Peter Parker.
Does his arm slowly grow in each shot?
Because when he does it, then he becomes the Lizard.
Oh, okay. Once it grows, then it's official.
Yeah. And so now they're finally giving us the Lizard, and totally played by a whole other... I mean, it's a reboot, so you can't expect anybody from the first 3 movies to be in the next 3 movies, but
James Franco's been in them all right.
Yeah, he was the Hobgoblin.
Now he's
Harry Osborn.
It says New Goblin on here for whatever reason.
Yeah, they call it because they don't call it. That's the whole thing is they don't fucking call it Hobgoblin. Everybody who
he was the roommate, right? In like the first one.
Well, because
he lived with
he lived with Peter Parker because. But that's the whole thing is that he didn't need to live with Peter Parker because his father
was his
Harry,
dad rich or something.
Yeah.
His dad was the Goblin.
Yeah, his father is a billionaire.
Yeah, I remember.
And he's rich, and Peter Parker's living with him, but like. He doesn't need Peter Parker. They don't need to be roommates. But, kind of like, I'm going to show me. living in your dad's shadow. I'm gonna show you Dad. Well, that's what happens is his father gets killed in the first one, and now he's kind of like he's stuck living in his father's shadow.
Then Topher Grace, that skinny guy, plays the Venom.
This is what gets me so fucking angry.
And then Bryce Dallas Howard who's Ron Howard. Ron Howard's daughter.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
She plays Gwen Stacy. She's a redhead.
She's a redhead, and they made her fucking
blonde.
And they
made her blonde. Now they're just messing with people's hair.
Yeah. Then they had
they must be doing that on purpose.
Who was Mary Jane in the first three? I forgot. You said her name earlier.
Oh, Lollipop. Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst is a lollipop head.
Yeah.
And her and who's the other one? Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
The Fugees. Yeah. Big giant heads, but super thin bodies. So
something's wrong.
Kirsten Dunst is a lollipop.
A lollipop. I love Elizabeth Banks. She probably has a small role. She's at the bottom. She's Miss Brandt.
Miss Brandt.
I was gonna say, it's way at the bottom, so she's probably...
That's one of those characters that I don't know.
She's probably there for that one line.
Yeah, like
that's her.
But Elizabeth Banks, don't even touch her. Go on IMDb with her because she's in like everything now.
Yes.
Like she doesn't say no to anything. She's
like, okay.
Every fucking movie. And she's an attractive woman. It's just like, I mean, I liked her in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Oh my god, that was one of the funniest, and it's so underrated. Like I feel like nobody saw it.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just a weirdo when I saw it, but none of my friends did. I was like, it is hysterical.
Oh, yeah. Well, the girl I used to see, I told her, I said, I want to watch this movie. She goes, Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Just sounds.
And she goes, I don't fucking see your porno movie.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not a porno. It's a comedy about people making a porno.
Even when they do, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I just remember, for the boom mic or something, they had the dildo on the end because they were making it come in as a spaceship. It was so ridiculous.
The alien, because they were making fun of Star Wars.
Right? Yeah. Oh my god, it was so ridiculous.
With an eye on it.
Also, I just see this coming through. It was so awkward.
Which is the trash compactor monster from the first Star Wars.
Oh, here we go.
Oh god. Back to Spider-Man.
Back to the Venom. I want to hear why you hated Topher Grace.
So Okay, so
Topher skinny.
Grace, and that's the whole thing. So in the comic books, Venom is on Peter Parker. When Peter Parker now has this black ooze over his body.
Okay, the oil slick.
The oil slick covers his body, and he becomes, not only is he Spider-Man, he's like Spider-Man plus 10. He's doing stuff even better than he used to do because the symbiote is living off him, and so he becomes this badass. But then the symbiote starts to get a little shiesty and starts to he starts taking over Peter Parker and wants Peter Parker to be bad because he's trying to take over the world or whatever. But aliens are bad. So what happens is Peter Parker fights it, and what happens is the way he fights it, which they did kind of cover in the movie, is it responds badly to tones. If you have the right vibration, you distract the oil slick and it falls off the body. So he goes to this church tower and
around a bunch of vibrators.
No, now
that's a movie. That would have made it better. So he's by the church bells, and then
when you ring a church bell, it's at a frequency where the thing comes off his body. The venom comes off his body. So of
course it's a church.
So when you get to in the comic book, Venom then leaves Peter Parker and goes on this other guy. And what's the name of Topher Grace's character?
Eddie Brock.
Eddie Brock. Okay,
that's like a porn star name. Eddie Brock. Introducing Eddie Brock.
In the comics, Eddie Brock is a muscular guy.
Yeah, Topher Grace is just a skinny frame in general.
Little panty waist, thin little punk motherfucker.
He is. He's tiny.
Little jelly-spined punk.
Jelly-spined.
Yeah.
And that's what they picked. And Eddie Brock
coming
is
from
just...
me, if I call a guy jelly-spined, you're a punk, and I don't...
Eddie Brock is just a big, massive name as well.
Yeah, Eddie Brock sounds like a
guy.
bodybuilder, And now, of course...
All juiced up.
Yeah, Eddie Brock. And what happens is...
I'll crush you.
Venom leaves Peter Parker and goes on to Eddie Brock. Now, Eddie Brock doesn't like Peter Parker.
So that's Topher Grace, so he goes...
And it goes on...
Oh, in general, they don't have a good...
Yeah, those characters... Because Eddie Brock is a bit of a bully.
Because the skinny guy's a bully.
Yeah. And,
they really fucked up the casting in this one.
Yeah, it's, so...
So, of course, in general, he doesn't even like Peter Parker. So, Venom... What does Venom just look like in general? Before it's a person. Do you see it?
It's the oil slick.
Like it just slithers over to you? I didn't know it was like a bug and whatever.
It's just
oil slick that comes to you and touches you, and then
and then it when it goes over your body, it kind of just like covers your body like if you're in oil, and then it lives off you.
Okay.
So then it goes on Eddie Brock. Now what happens is that since it was on Spider-Man, it now carries Spider-Man's abilities, kind of. So now it goes to Eddie Brock.
So now there's 2 Spider-Mans going on.
Yeah. Now Eddie Brock, who's supposed to be this big muscular guy, now it looks like Spider-Man hitting the fucking gym. He's a big muscular Spider-Man, and he kind of keeps the same form that he did when he was on Spider-Man, because when he was on Spider-Man, he was all black with a white spider on his chest.
Okay.
So now that he's on Eddie Brock, he's still all black with a white spider on his chest, but now he's he's evil Spider-Man.
But basically
evil rated out Spider-Man.
Juiced up. So basically are those 2 fighting throughout the whole.
Yeah, and
even though there's a little Goblin out there, little Goblin
was a character from the '60s. Green Goblin was made by Stan Lee, and
so he's not really a problem.
Yeah, he's corny. Green Goblin, and then his son Hobgoblin's even worse, because in the comic book, he's a guy who wears a rubber mask. He literally wears a rubber mask. He has this little flying skateboard he's on.
Right.
He throws pumpkins with dynamite in it.
Pretty badass, right?
Well, I'm just saying, if they did a little translation like they did in the movies, like if they took the movies and did a little translation of the comic book, it would look silly.
Right.
A guy in a rubber mask.
Yeah. So the new Goblin, James Franco, he's not even an issue.
Yeah, they made him cool. They gave him like a cool motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
And he's wearing like a motorcycle leather suit, and they made his skateboard it looks like it's a floating skateboard.
He's pretty badass. Yeah.
And it's
little hovercraft.
It's made up of like different moving parts. Like they made it badass, but once
in the comic books, it's not.
You don't care.
And then the Sandman, he was another bad one.
Yeah, Sandman's like I said, Sandman was always kind of like in that universe. He was always like a small time criminal, but then he got superpowers. So
then. Throughout this movie, is he just basically fighting the bad Venom? Or is he fighting all...
He's fighting all 3.
All 3, okay.
Yeah.
And does he win? Spoiler alert.
The movie's called Spider-Man.
And that one was very emo, and we're not a fan of it.
Yeah. And so now you got Topher Grace. Now, Topher Grace, like I said, Eddie Brock is supposed to be this muscular guy. Now, let me rewind this also. Once Venom gets on your body, he can shift around without you getting killed. Okay, let me.
Give me an example.
He can put his hands together and make a big giant hammer and smash Spider-Man.
Okay.
Now the guy inside him, Eddie Brock, doesn't get killed. Like I don't know what happens to the person inside, but he could become a big giant mouth and try to and that's what he does. Sometimes that's a popular form of Venom in the comics, where he becomes this big
snake mouth.
It's just it's a big snake mouth, and he tries to bite Peter Parker. And I don't know where the human body goes, but I guess
it's somewhere inside.
When he's connected to you, you can morph.
Yeah,
and I know that
it's a whole morphing thing.
And so, first and foremost, the movie they never call it Venom.
Really?
They never say Venom.
He's on here as Venom.
Well, but
I guess that's just if they had to name him.
Even if they had
what do they call him then?
This venomous character, give me something. They never call him Venom.
They just never refer to him?
They never refer to him. And then
everyone's taking over bodies.
And then whenever Topher Grace has to talk, the oil slick peels back from his face and you see Topher Grace's face.
Okay.
That doesn't happen in the comic books. There's no reason why. Venom is supposed to be Venom. Venom takes and did you ever see Lord of the Rings?
Long time, when it first came out.
Okay, when Venom talks, he talks in a plural. He says we and us, even though he's referring to him, because it's him and Eddie Brock.
Him and somebody else, yeah.
We have
him
to
and his
kill the
host.
spider.
Yeah.
You will not kill us. He's combined with Eddie Brock. And Eddie Brock hates Peter Parker.
Drama City on this number 3.
Yeah, so so why do I have to see Topher's face? He's a punk. He's a spine, jelly spine.
Yeah. If I was to picture a badass, what's his name, Eddie Brock, that would not be who I would choose.
Oh, Jesus Christ! And then when the oil slick peels back from his face to hear him talk, his human face now has these funky, jagged teeth, and he has yellow eyes, which I don't know where the fuck.
Supposed to be a snake.
I guess.
Nothing's ever explained.
They don't explain it. And it's like, Venom is Venom. And Venom can talk. He doesn't have the white spider on his chest. They never call him Venom.
Oh, they never did put the white spider on it?
And every time he talks, it's the oil stick peeling back from Topher Grace's face. So, that was...
It's a strange black entity from another world. That's what it says.
What a horrible, tap dance.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Sam Raimi.
Raimi, yep.
And he's
writer and director.
Yeah, and he did The Quick and the Dead. He did the Evil Dead movies. And
where did we go wrong in number 3? Where did we go wrong?
Mary Jane. Trying to appeal to the girlfriends.
The females.
Because the guys are going to go see the movies.
Right.
So they said,
let's draw on the girls.
Let's focus more on the girl.
She's focused on her movie career.
Like I said, if you edit all the Mary Jane scenes out of the movie and the fucking tap dancing,
dancing emo,
and
it's totally just
kind of
redid downgrade Spider-Man so many levels.
Yeah, it's like how do you make 1 and 2, which are so good, and then 3 just like fall right off?
They got lazy.
Yeah. So now with the new one,
which is Andrew Garfield.
I
think he's a hunk. What do you think? I think he's a cute Spider-Man.
Well, and of course...
we'll see how good he does, but I think he's a good fit.
Spider-Man, Batman, and the new Superman are all British actors.
Ooh, you think they did that on purpose?
No, but I mean, are you going to tell me...
When does the Superman come out?
Superman, I think they're making, and it's going to come out soon.
A while.
Yeah. But, they're really...
I briefly heard about it, who was casted.
All 3 of these actors are British guys.
Because they know what they're doing. They probably work for less money.
With this economy, you got to get whatever deal you can.
It's like, are we that...
the Americans.
These are all American characters.
Right.
DC and Marvel or company. I can understand if it was some...
We're outsourcing.
Yeah. Why are all our superheroes British?
That is funny.
And then, Thor, that guy's from
Australia.
But Thor always spoke with an accent, so I'll forgive that. You know what I'm saying? But so he's a Brit playing an American.
From England, yeah.
And I apologize to any British people out there. I don't mean to offend you.
We're sorry.
I'm just, call me patriotic. I think American superheroes should be played by a stop, they take our jobs. They take our jobs.
He's also in, I think where I actually knew him from was The Social Network.
Oh,
he was the friend.
Oh,
that was I thought he was Spanish, yeah.
Holy shit.
No, yeah, the guy, well then they ended up being partners in the end,
but he was his...
Yeah, because
what was his name? Oh, Eduardo. Se7en.
I did not know.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh shit! Yeah, here, see now you.
And he was he seemed so Spanish, and I was like, oh. And when I see his name, I'm like, he is not Spanish. He is actually British. Yeah, he's the friend that helps him throughout it all, and then he turns his back on him, and then the friend again.
And I like The Social Network. First and foremost, it's directed by David Fincher, who I love. David Fincher, he directed Fight Club.
Right.
I like Fight Club. I like Se7en. I like The Game.
I love Se7en.
For other people out there who don't know, he also did Benjamen Button, Social Network.
I did see that one.
He did the American remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I love that movie.
You know what? I haven't seen the new one.
It's very yeah, I heard the old one.
I saw the Swedish one.
Yeah, it was real. I heard it was really messed up because they really only focused on the anal scene, the anal thing. Right or no?
Well, there's a version on Netflix right now.
Okay.
Now the crazy thing is, I started watching it. I got it from another source.
Fell off the truck, all right? A lot of our things fell off the truck.
The version I saw was American overdubbed.
Okay.
English overdubbed.
Yeah.
The version on Netflix, they don't. It's only subtitles.
Okay.
And the one on Netflix is, from what I understand, is the unedited director's cut. It's like 2.5 hours. And there is a rape scene, and it is fucked up.
That's what I heard. Well, the movie, I didn't think they were... I read all the books.
Oh,
so just reading it was kind of a vulgar scene. You're like, holy shit. But, they did it well in the movie. It was...
In the David Fincher version.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I don't know...
It was really good, but, I just remember I saw it in the movies, and I was just, really tense throughout it all, because I was like, oh my god.
Oh, man.
They did it really... It was gross, but they did it well. Basically how the book was.
Yeah.
Right, and you're just like, oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I was real uncomfortable, and it was like,
And it's
the movie was long, but it was probably about 2 hours maybe.
Yeah.
But it went along with the book. That's what I like. Like, they didn't change anything too drastic. And it was really good.
And you know, talk about remakes and reboots, and as much as I love David Fincher, I guess he wanted to make it palatable to the United States. Because,
right.
You know,
I mean, it's all they have the accent and everything, like the Swedish.
They're going to sit through 2 hours of
subtitles and all that. They did have, like, it was hard to understand them at some time. I mean, it wasn't too bad, but they did have, like, a Swedish accent. You're like, well, I knew ahead of time that they were going to be in Sweden. And all. So I kind of got it, but, like, some people were like, what was the guy's name? I'm like, let me tell you. Like, you just don't realize until you're like, oh, that's a Swedish accent. But it went along with the book. It was really good.
The Millennium, was it the Millennium series, I think they called
it? Yeah, like, that was the
newspaper. Because I started reading the book, but I kind of put it down.
Well, you got a daughter, so you might get busy. But the books are really good.
Yeah, so, David Fincher, how did I get to...
Because he directed Social Network.
He directed Social Network. And
we went from Spider-Man to an anal rape scene, just saying.
And, well, that's the whole thing, is that I like the Social Network, and the funny thing, it's such not your traditional movie.
Right.
There's no big battle at the end.
It's just basically like this kid's story on how he...
Like off a cliff. Like,
yeah.
This is the end of the movie.
This is it.
And I love David Fincher. And the funny thing...
I love that it was like it was a true story on how this actually all went down.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he did backstab people to get where he is today. And that's what happens in the real world.
Yeah,
so.
Nobody gets rich and famous without being a scumbag.
Right.
You have to have that.
And you kind of hated and loved him at the same time.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Anybody who gets that kind of fame or whatever gets it because they stabbed
somewhere along the line they did somebody wrong.
Yeah, like the poster said, you don't get to 500 million friends.
Yeah, it's like a few enemies. Yeah. And that kid played it so good. What is Jesse Eisenberg?
Jesse Eisenberg.
He did it really good.
And then he
And what's her name's in this? Actually, I didn't realize this. That Rooney Mara, she plays the girl in Dragon Tattoo, the fucked up one.
Oh shit!
I don't even know what she plays in this, but Erica Albright. Maybe has a little love interest at one point. Maybe, but she's in. She's the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Oh shit! Wow.
She's there for the anal rape scene.
Oof,
I don't want.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Swedish version.
And I heard that one was really fucked up, and I was like, I don't know if I want to see it because I was uncomfortable with the American version.
And I think the Swedish version is a little more fucked up.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's on Netflix. It's the director's cut, so it's like even more fucked up.
Right. Yeah. But it was very good, the American one. I do say so.
So yeah, so you got a British guy playing Spider-Man. Then you got Emma Stone. Now, and once again, this is stuff I was saying before the podcast. I'm going to repeat myself. Okay, the movie The Rocker, which was a stupid, corny fucking movie.
It was with Dwight from The Office.
Yeah, I love...
Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson. I love The Rocker. I mean, I admit that it's a stupid movie.
It's a stupid, funny movie.
But, like, in The Rocker, I loved her. Because she was still...
new.
Yeah, she was... But you know what it is? I think now she's drinking her own Kool-Aid. Like... As in, she knows she's hot and she's playing it up, and now I don't like that anymore.
Like it was cool when you didn't, like you were just
when she was the alternative girl and, not your traditional
whatever.
That, I was vibing, and now that people have told her she's pretty, she's
into her head.
Yeah.
She's getting cocky.
I got that high school mentality, like, oh, you conceited now. You're pretty.
Nobody wants you anymore.
You got little attention now,
You know you're pretty.
Oh, yeah. I mean... Easy A, I saw it. Everyone talked about how great that movie was.
I didn't think it was great. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah,
it wasn't horrible. I've seen some horrible.
I don't know. I mean, people were talking to me about Easy A like it was going to be like
the best thing.
Oh yeah, gosh, she's the greatest actress in the world.
Funny. I rented it and watched it.
Her in that movie. The same thing like Juno. When you try to make people,
oh my god, I hated Juno.
Hip,
yeah,
that
too cool for everything.
The fuck out of me! Nobody talks like that.
Juno came out when I was in college, and people talked out. They're like, "You have to see Juno." I was like, "Really? It's just about a pregnant teenager. Like, what's so big?" So I saw it, and I was bored. I was like, "This girl just they're just trying to do that too hip."
Which totally, first of all, I don't like the message of that movie because
first of all, the girl's pregnant, and
it's basically
nobody's really concerned.
It's basically saying if you even though you're not ready to be a mother, go right ahead and have that kid.
Right, like it was just...
Everything's going to be alright.
It was just a weird, and yeah, she was too cool, and I was like, alright, it was boring.
Yeah.
Like, they had their little one-liners, and she was...
Yeah, it was different. I understand. Like, I understand.
People loved it, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
And I think they like it just because it's different.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
different.
Like, they
want to be different.
Oh, I like Juno because it's so...
And then everybody loved her. What's her name? Ellen Page?
Ellen Page.
Yeah.
And she...
I mean, she didn't really do it for me in that movie, but
No, well,
she's been in other things where I'm like,
The
oh.
funny thing is that Ellen
I actually
Page
kinda
did a
do
movie with
like her.
Rainn Wilson called Super. It's a fucked up movie. It's a much darker version of like the movie Kick-Ass.
I love Kick-Ass, but Super I never heard of.
Super it was a very independent movie,
Oh, okay.
and it's about a guy whose life gets all fucked up, so he becomes a superhero. And Ellen Page, and there's a scene,
2010.
yeah, she's in that movie, and she's kind of like hit the Robin to his Batman,
Okay.
but like. There's like it's not a sex scene, but there's a scene where she's like throwing herself at him, and she...
At Rainn Wilson, that's hysterical.
She is fucking tasty in that movie. Holy shit. Yeah, she's... Now the funny thing is that, have you ever heard of a show called The Trailer Park Boys?
No.
Sounds interesting. It's a show from Canada, and it's on Netflix.
They always got the best.
And now, I think Ellen Page is very attractive, especially after Super.
Especially if you saw her.
Well, she was also in the X-Men movies. She was Kitty Pryde in the X-Men movies.
Right, yeah.
And
she's actually younger than me.
Oh, shit.
By 1 year.
Oh, okay.
You pedophile.
But no!
She's 25, it's okay. She's 25, it's okay.
I was lusting after her a year ago, so she's still...
She's from Canada.
Well, that's the whole thing is, I think she's very attractive. And then I didn't realize that she's in the show called The Trailer Park Boys, but she's like 14 or 15 when she's in the show.
Oh, that's okay.
Then I felt inappropriate.
Then things got awkward.
Like, it's funny when you see
She was in
someone...
Inception, that's right.
Yeah, and it's funny when you see someone who's like attractive, but then you see them when they were like younger. I feel wrong.
This is weird.
But yeah, she's in the show called The Trailer Park Boys, which once again, anybody who has Netflix, check it out. It is very funny. It's all about guys who live in the trailer park. So it's rednecks, but it's Canadian rednecks.
Nah, you can't go wrong with that.
It's so funny. And then the funny thing is that there's this guy named Julian and a guy named Ricky who are always scamming. They sell dope. And every time they scam, they make money. Something always happens to fuck up their story. You know, which is, like work with Lucille Ball. They work.
Two petty felons. They have a documentary made about their life in the trailer park. That's all it's
And then the funny thing is that they have a third friend named Bubbles.
Of course.
They call him Bubbles because he wears these big, thick, ridiculously thick glasses.
Okay.
And for all intents and purposes, he's like a guy with Down syndrome.
Okay.
But the funniest thing is that of the guy with Down syndrome, he's the smartest guy in the trailer park.
He's got to be the smartest one. Oh my god.
But his character, the guy that plays him,
Mike Smith.
Mike Smith is a fucking genius. And that's the funny thing is
he has Down syndrome.
Even though he has Down syndrome, he's still the smartest guy in the trailer park.
That's
It's
sad.
so fucking funny.
That is sad.
And the guy, he has some great lines, and one thing. And oddly enough, like the show, even though it's only like each season's only like 8-9 episodes, it went like 7-8 seasons.
Yeah. See, that's where they like other countries do it right.
Yeah.
Like Britain, they do like 2 seasons or something like that. You know, like we push it so much here that where like the last season blows.
Yeah, look at
You have nothing to write about after 15 seasons.
Like, I mean, I like The Office.
Right, now it's getting kind of...
And it's,
They should have ended it with Steve Carell, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
It was amazing.
And the funny thing is that the first 2 seasons of The Office I actually hated. And then it grew on.
It got, yeah.
And then it got better, in my opinion. And then,
Absolutely.
And then it but at least like in Britain, they did 2 seasons.
And then that was it, yeah. See, like, they quit at like the high time.
Yeah.
We just push it and push it and push
Trying to crank those
it.
dollars out, man.
Like, I think they actually got renewed for next season as well, and I was like, really?
Well,
I guess some people are still, like, the true fans are still watching it. I haven't...
I guess it's home one because I'm excited.
Have you seen this season?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen it, like, here and there, and I'm like, some of it sometimes is funny, and then... I mean, it's just not as funny as what it used to be.
See, like, when they had, like, right now they had that Robert California character, Bobby
Right.
California.
Yeah.
I don't really like. But then when they had, back when, What the hell is it? The woman from Misery.
Kathy
Bates was on the show.
Yeah,
I guess
she
now
does.
she has her own show now.
Yeah.
But
she does.
when Kathy Bates was, those fucking episodes are so funny.
Like, those were funny, yeah, when they were first starting, and she had her 2 dogs.
Yeah,
those huge dogs.
And, and they kind of like, I don't know if they were trying to capture that again with the Bobby California character, but, I guess maybe because I love Dwight, Dwight is such a real, as nutty as he is, Dwight, every guy knows it's Dwight. Every guy knows that one guy that thinks he knows everything, but he's a freaking idiot in real life. And,
it's amazing, though. Rainn Wilson plays him great.
Yeah.
Plays him amazing. And that's why I loved when Michael was there. Like, he used to follow Michael on everything. He was the assistant to the
assistant to the
what was it? What was the title? Assistant to regional director.
Yeah, and
regional manager.
He keeps calling himself the assistant regional
He's like,
manager.
no, the assistant too. Like, true. And assistant regional manager.
And like he plays the awkward guy in the rocker. But if you see Super takes it in a dark.
I've never heard that. So it was an independent thing.
Yeah, it's like
the darker version of Kick-Ass.
Yeah, it's Kick-Ass, but dark. But it's
with Juno.
But black comedy, like it's trying to be funny, but it takes you. He's fucked up. He's really fucked up. And so.
How did you hear about that one? Just because you're looking through movies?
Yeah, well, I went to superhero movies. And it's supposed to be him. And
did you get it on Netflix?
I think so.
Or did you fall off the truck?
I fell off the truck when I got it. And
some truck.
Like in Super, he quote unquote fights crime, but he just carries around this big fucking giant plumber's wrench.
And that's what he fights crime with?
Smashing the shit out of people with the fucking plumber's wrench. And it's graphic.
Sounds realistic. And he's all dressed up too. I saw the picture.
Yeah, he's
got the whole
funky red
thing,
homemade suit, which looks.
Now, is he a plumber or
no?
Why is he just that's a tool he found?
And then like his girlfriend, who's a drug addict, starts hanging out with like drug dealers. Like they kind of take her away from him, and then
he gets pissed.
He was all well invested into her, and now that she's gone, he fucking goes crazy.
Sounds about right for Rainn Wilson. Amazing.
Wow.
We went from Spider-Man to Super. Now, what's the other movie?
I am excited that they're going to do The Lizard.
The Lizard finally comes.
Now,
who plays the Lizard? Anybody good?
Oh, shit. He's a great actor. Once again, another British guy.
Oh, of course.
What's his name? Doc Connors, I believe is the character's name. Dr. Connors, who plays the Lizard in the... But the guy that plays him... Do you have it?
No, not I'm like, wait, he keeps giving me the old Spider-Man that I was looking at.
Yeah,
like
the guy that plays him is a great fucking actor. And Denis Leary's going to be in it.
Right.
Now, the big...
And Martin Sheen was...
Martin Sheen. Well, because, like...
Dr. Curt Connors is Rhys Ifans.
Oh, Rhys. I think it's Rhys.
R-H-Y-S.
Rhys.
And then the last name is I-F-A-N-S.
I think it's Ifans. I think it's pronounced Ifans.
And he's British?
Yeah. Is he? Oh, no, or maybe he's Irish.
I'll let you know what he is.
Yeah. Well, he's...
Yeah, he's from Wales.
Wales. Okay, yeah, he's...
Oh, I've seen him. He's in a bunch of stuff. He's always like a drunk Irishman. I feel like he's an Irishman in a lot of things.
Well, he was in, what was that movie? The Replacements?
I was going to say the football one.
I love that.
Remember he has he's the kicker and he's got like the cigarette in his mouth.
A lot of shade.
And he's like so tiny, like compared to
I love him in that movie.
Yeah,
he's such
nuts.
But that's the whole thing.
And he's the badass lizard.
Yeah, he's a lizard.
His arm grows back.
Yeah. I think it's.
And he's not in the other ones.
No, that's also this.
We're all different.
Has nothing to do with
different people.
And they kind of redid the outfit and everything like that. Yeah, so and Denis Leary's in it, and then what they're doing with this.
Sally Field is in it? That's random.
I think
Mary Parker?
Yeah, which is Peter Parker's... Because the whole thing about this movie, which they never really touched in the comic books, is what...
We're going to find out about his family, his parents.
Why Peter Parker's with his aunt and uncle and not with his parents.
What if there's a sibling?
Yeah, that's...
Dun, dun, dun.
That means his Aunt May had to keep that a secret from him and stuff like that.
What if at the end, the lizard is his sibling?
No, boy.
It'll be like Luke, I am your father type thing.
Well, the thing with the lizard, which was kind of also done already in Spider-Man 2, is
no, they don't repeat stuff.
Well, because the lizard was his college professor. You know,
okay.
So like, you know, and in the movies he gives like Peter Parker this whole long speech because Peter Parker's out fighting crime, then he comes to class he's fucking exhausted.
Oh, he would be too.
He's like, you know, you have a brilliant mind.
You're just tired.
What are you doing that's distracting you from your studies? You know, so.
Oh, so throughout like these movies, he's like
he's kind of like a mentor.
His mentor professor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. With his arm, and then it goes back suddenly, and then he's fighting him.
Yeah, because it makes him so lizard, and
typical.
Lizards are bad guys.
Well, of course. Anything different is a bad guy, right? Well, that's good. It's good. I'm proud of it.
I can't believe we spent a whole hour just talking about the new Spider-Man.
We're like, we're going to talk about this, this, and this, and then we start on one topic, and it goes from there.
So we have actually hit the hour mark. Once again, I want to thank everybody for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Please share us. If you enjoy the show, if we make you laugh, for free.
Let us know.
It takes no money to go on Twitter and say, hey, check these people out. Go on Twitter, go on Facebook, however you do it, and let your friends know about Two Strangers, One Podcast.
And we're now on Stitcher.
And we're technically on Stitcher. As of this recording, it hasn't officially been updated.
We'll be on Stitcher.
We should be on Stitcher. Well, hopefully by the time this episode comes out, everything will be figured out. So don't forget to visit www.doublejackpot.us. There are links to our eBay page, to our Twitter account. So if you found this podcast through some other way, that's where you can visit us and get the link to subscribe to us on iTunes. If you enjoy the show, once again, I'm not asking something for nothing. I'm not asking money for you to just support the show. I'm selling comic books. I'm selling video games. I'm selling heavy metal memorabilia.
Here we go, man.
Visit www.doublejackpot.us.
Double Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher
So once again,
Cologne.
thank
Like the headquarters.
Yeah, everything you
Smells good to
need
me.
is there. So thank you for listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast.
Thank you, and I'm
But
Kristen.
it is spelled Colon. But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Fucking, are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I gotta meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia is spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
Yeah, it
man.
is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show, I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lpl.com. LULU.com.
That's Lulu.com.
I understand that. I just wanted to spell it out.
Normally one says it, that spells it. Still, Lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15, and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his comic books, heavy metal, video games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I will totally read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could sell them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne right now.
No, sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonepodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.